Welcome, everybody, to the iBug Android Insight call. Today is August 16th, 2023. I want to welcome everybody to this call because on this call, we talk about everything that deals with the Android platform. So if you have questions, comments, or even interesting things to say, we talk about from your cell phones to your Lady A devices to your Google devices to the Fire tablets, the Android tablets. So this call is a community where we come together to discuss and encourage each other with our Android devices. So I would like to say welcome again. My name is Ava. I'm actually in Houston, Texas, and I am one of your Zoom hosts. And my co-host is...
Hey, good evening. I'm Hershey from Central Florida. I want to welcome everybody here to the Android Insight call, and hopefully everybody has some questions for us ready to go. And Ava, I'll pass it right back to you.
All right, and let's give a little bit more volume. Um, so let's do a little bit of housekeeping real quick. As you know, we are hosted by iBug. So you can go to ibugtoday.com and sign up if you haven't already signed up on there to get what's going on with iBug, to get an email about that, as well as you can go to ibugtoday.com and see any of our other shows that you may have missed or if you have questions about. So you go there to the Android Insight tab and you can see all of our previous shows. We have been here for 2 years, so we have a lot of shows out there. And another thing is you can keep up with all the events for the month of August that iBug is hosting. One thing, well, two of them that's coming up this week is tomorrow night on Thursday, we have the Trekkie Talk. And that starts, if I'm correct, Sunday at 7 p.m. And we also have the iBug movie night on Friday night. And that starts at 8 p.m. Come at 7:30 for the social hour. And this week's movie, let's hope I get this right, is Inglorious Bastard 2009.
You said that on TV?
Yes, bleep. Okay, we beat me out on that. Okay. All right, so I just want to welcome everybody, and we want to do a little roundabout, see who's out there. If this is your first time on the call, please introduce yourself. Let us know where you're calling from and how did you hear about us, as well as what device do you have? What Android device do you have? So we'd like everybody to introduce themselves so we at least know who's out there. So let's open up so everybody can introduce themselves.
Wow, even our regulars are shy today, Ava.
Mm-hmm. I think.
Is everybody able to unmute, I guess,
Okay.
if you want to
Oh, I
unmute?
Yes.
just forgot I was on mute.
Welcome, Miss Renee.
Hi, this is Renee. I'm back again, back from vacation.
We love it. Thank you.
Yes. Welcome back, Renee. I hope you had a wonderful vacation.
3 weeks, 6,000 miles in a motorhome.
Ooh.
No, I wasn't driving.
Okay.
Automation. Well, our other friends out here. Hey, you want to introduce yourself, Mr. Foster?
Okay. I think I got everybody.
Yeah, today's just a really quiet day, but yeah, what we basically say here is where you're from, how you do, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm from Daytona Beach, Florida, and phones that I have are Pixel 7, or no, Pixel 6, a S22 Ultra, a bunch of the Google devices, displays, and all these other things in between that they make, and we will let the audience know if you want to give it a shout. Let us know your name, where you're from, and what kind of device you might have.
I'm Linda. I'm from Houston, and I just have Lady A.
Excellent, Miss Linda. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Since you called me out, Ava, this is Gail from Houston.
Hey, Miss Gail, it's been a minute. Glad to hear your voice again. Thank you.
This is Sonia. I have lots of A-ladies and a phone that's hiding in the drawer somewhere, Hershey.
Thank goodness it's not in the garage. Yeesh, I feel bad for that Houston weather and the eek. Huh, Mr. New York is being quiet today too. What's up with everybody being quiet?
Hey, Joel from Sacramento.
Hey, Joel. Nice to have you on board.
Hi. Sorry, I couldn't. I'm calling in on my iPhone today.
Not a problem, but we're glad.
But ready to talk Android. Ready to talk Android. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
This is Foster from Houston. Got some A-Lady devices, some Google speakers, Google TV, OnePlus Android phone, and a Pixel 7 Pro. Yeah, I'm just saying, I still got it.
I know last time you said the Pixel, so the audience, you'll get to know what Foster's talking about a little later. Maybe you'll have an antidote or two, so hang in there, and we'll. If you have anything more to say, Foster, we'll go to the next person.
Richard from New York.
Welcome, Richard. Nice to have you again.
Hello, this is Steven Sinet. I have a Google Home smart speaker and a Samsung phone, and I'm in San Pablo in the Bay Area.
Nice Bay Area in the house. Okay, welcome. Nice to have you here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any more questions, thoughts, or not questions? Wow, I'm already jumping the gun. Any more introductions, I meant to say, before we get started?
Well, since Hershey introduced himself, I will introduce mine. Well, myself. I'm Ava. I'm in Houston, and I have the Lady A devices, the Google devices, my phone, my Samsung phone Note, and Android tablet and Fire tablet. What else?
I wonder what version of Android tablet you got. I might have questions for you later, Miss Ava, Amazon lady.
Okay, I heard someone else come in.
I did too. If anybody else wants to introduce themselves and let us know where you're from, and perhaps if you have any devices you want to share, maybe they're Android related, feel free.
Yes, Eric Hartman from Dallas, Texas.
Well, welcome. Nice to have you. And do you have any Android devices by any chance?
Yeah, I have a Samsung phone, Galaxy.
Excellent, excellent. Well, nice to have you here. And is this your first time, perhaps? Because that's the first time I'm seeing your name.
I've been on other iBug.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us here on iBug Android Insight tonight. So I really appreciate it, and welcome to the call.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. If anybody else wants to introduce himself, if not, Ava, what do you think? You got an antidote? You had some things you wanted to talk about, because you know.
Oh, well, just a little tip on your Lady A devices. Just remember, when you change the name of her, make sure you don't use the one that you tend to use the most, such as, and I'm going to do it now, computer. As you can hear in the background, it actually answered me. So just remember that. Try to use... I've saved you enough. Try to use Ziggy, Echo, you know, uh, even Alexa, but Amazon, I found out the hard way. Amazon and the C word, I tend to use a lot, especially in my office. So it will answer and it will try to answer whatever you're trying to do. So that's just a little tip for today.
Nice. Nice one. So, if anybody has any questions they want to start off with, I guess we could just open the floor.
Mrs. Linda with a Lady A question.
Go ahead, Miss Linda.
I don't know how this happened, but somehow my Lady A will play Christmas music at sunset, and I don't know how to stop it.
Oh, man. I mean, I know holidays are around the corner, but yeah, that would be annoying.
It's been doing it since Christmas.
Oh, Lord. Okay. We got an emergency here on our hands, guys. Christmas music all day, every day. Can we help Miss Linda with this?
This is Foster. Sometime during Christmas, you might have been talking to the A lady, and they said, well, it's Christmas time. I can play Christmas songs for you in the afternoon or in the evening, starting at 7 o'clock. And you probably say, yeah, that sounds good. And then you never deactivate it. So it's probably under one of your, you don't have to go into the app, the A Lady app, and go under routines and deactivate that routine, because that's what it sounds. It sounds like it's a routine.
Excellent. Thank you there, Foster. So yeah, the Alexa app, it's a standalone app on Android and other platforms, and that's the one he's speaking about that has the routines in there.
Thank you. I'll give that a try.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead, Sandhya.
I've struggled with this. I want to make all of them play at the same time. Just like as you walk through the house, you can have it playing, or even just in with one room. Sometimes there's multiple devices. That's the way it is. There's like at least 3 in the den, so it'd be cool to have like a.
Well, Sandhya, I'm just being funny here, but do you have theme music or something? I'm just trying to be funny. Sorry.
Let's
Do
surround
you have like theme music or
sound.
something every room you go?
No, well, it'd be like surround, because it would be like coming from the TV and the different devices. So, but I had it before, and now it just sits there. Like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't know. I know you have to program it like a group, but is there any reason why it wouldn't work? Like, I mean, I set it up and now it just refuses. Should I just undo it? Or I don't even know how to undo it.
Is this the G speakers or the A speakers?
A speakers.
Oh.
I know, right, Miss Renee? All these apps that we have to work with. But if anybody does have some insight to help Sandhya out here with trying to get her situated with her A lady, please feel free to answer. I thought we had more Amazon experts in here than before.
This is Richard.
Go ahead, Richard.
What I have done to have it play, I don't have that many Alexas, but I do have speakers, Bluetooth speakers. So I don't know if you want to hook them to all the other Alexas, but the Bluetooth speakers, what I did is just connect it to one, and I got about 4 or 5 more Bluetooth speakers, and I just programmed them into the one Alexa, and I just put them in different rooms. And it will play all of those speakers, and it will play from that one Alexa.
Thank you there, Mr. Richard. And Sandhya, my opinion to this is you are kind of on that track where if you want to burn it down, as they say, basically ungroup everything, reset it, and then start over to see if anything helps it. I mean, that's the long way out of this, but it might at least help you regroup or join those particular speakers, and if there's any bugs in between, it would more than likely get rid of them if you reset them and then start from scratch. But that's just
Okay,
one
this
opinion. You don't have to, but that's just one. Whenever my Google speakers go off crazy, I usually burn it down and then restart my whole network in the house. And that way, any little glitches or nuances, they tend to go away.
This is something. Thank you. I'll do that.
Yep, you're welcome. All right. Anyone else wants to speak? Question, thoughts, concerns?
This is Richard.
Go ahead, Mr. Richard.
I have recently just hooked up another smart TV, and I got it all programmed and ready to go, and it's working, and everything is good. But the thing that gets me confused is it's working with the Alexa as well as the other TV is. And all of a sudden, I ran in, it's telling me to connect the TV, and I thought you were already connected. So the question I have, can one Alexa device run two TVs? Because they're both in the Alexa, and they can work, and I've done it, but it almost is like it doesn't respond to both TVs or one. It only does one.
Interesting question. Anyone have any insight here for Mr. Rich?
If I'm not mistaken, because this Foster ran into that problem before, Richard, and I think far as, because you're talking about like far as controlling the smart TV, right?
Yeah. I say Alexa, turn on the TV. It will do it.
So
and then
you can only link one speaker to one TV.
So one Alexa to one TV.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So choose one.
That's what was weird. I mean, they're both in there, and I got them because it told me to make I see two TVs under that name. Make sure the TVs are different names. And I'm like, okay. So she talked me through it, and Alexa responded and talked me through it. So I named one TV a different, and then the other TV a different name, and I'm thinking now it will respond, and then it doesn't do it. So now I know only one Alexa can run only one TV.
I guess that is that, and there's always feedback that you could always probably pass on to Amazon to say, hey, how can I make this work for me and not be stuck with this? So consider that maybe.
It would be cool if it can do both TVs. That would be cool.
Yeah, I found that out years ago because I had like two different TVs, and so I had one TV was already linked to my speaker in my master bedroom. And so then I bought another smart TV that was in a whole nother room. And when I went to try to control that TV from that speaker in the master bedroom, it didn't do nothing. The speakers work different because you can control any speaker from any room, but far as like controlling a TV, telling it to turn on, tell it to turn off, tell it to switch inputs and stuff. You can like only link one TV to one speaker. Now, on the flip side of that, and I think Renee can probably speak to this, with Google, you can control any TV, any device from any Google speaker that you have on your Wi-Fi network.
Wow.
So that's why.
This is
that's
Renee.
Why I have to,
Yes, I have controlled multiple TVs from multiple different speakers that are on the Google platform.
Yeah, as long as they're on the same Wi-Fi network.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to be careful, because sometimes, and it's not even a blind thing. I'm not going to even blame it on my eyesight. It has nothing to do with my eyesight. It's my age, and I forget that which TV I have, what I've named the TV sometimes. So sometimes I'll change the YouTube in our master bedroom, and I'm in the study, and my wife's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, this is Renee. Yes, I had my husband go back and redo all the naming because his naming convention made no sense to me. And so giving it the right room and giving it a name that makes sense, is real important with all the stuff, not just the TVs, lights, everything. So it does help.
Yeah, and in that aspect, the Google, basically like the Google Home works better than Alexa, than the Amazon stuff on that in that particular way. It works better in that particular way.
This is Richard. The reason why I'm asking that is because when I first hooked up my TV, the newest one, it was really, really weird. Alexa was doing both TVs. She was actually doing both TVs for about a week. I would just say, turn on this TV, and it would do it. Turn off this TV, she would do it. And then, either look for an app or do this. And I was shocked and stunned, and I'm like, wow, this technology went this far. And then there was a major storm that happened here over the weekend, this past weekend, that knocked out Wi-Fi and knocked out everything. And I had to reset the one TV, and Alexa just wouldn't do it anymore. That's what was freaky. I mean, at first she was doing it. She was running both TVs. And it was one Alexa doing it.
No, yes. This is Ava. Yeah, it is possible. I'm trying to see if I can find it because I have a Blink doorbell. And when I set it up, it allowed me to go check off each Alexa. So I have my my Echo Show hooked up to it, and two of my Echo Dots. No, three of them hooked up to it. So if I'm upstairs and I hear it, I can answer it from upstairs. Or if I'm in my office or in the kitchen, I can answer it from either one. But it's a setting in there within the app that you have to go set up and check off which devices you want to hook to that device that will answer for it. So you have to go through your Alexa app and set it up that way.
Well, thank you for that. And I guess with that, we will go on to the next question then.
Well, this is Renee. It's kind of a question along with a comment. We have a new toy, a new TV with Google TV built in, which is the first one I've had with any of the major devices like a Roku or a Fire or anything built into it, and not as a separate device. We came back and our 75-inch TV had died for some reason, even though it was unplugged. And I just let people know that there are some really good deals out there. We got a 75-inch for $4.99 at Costco, and it was a brand I wasn't used to because I was ready to go buy another Samsung, but then I was kind of a little bit salty because my Samsung died in less than 6 years. So it's really for my husband because he's the one that can see. I can care less much. It's the picture quality. So this Hisense, good deal, 3-year warranty plus 2 more years for $35 at Costco. So a 5-year warranty. Can't be mad at it, but I was wondering if anybody's had any experience with the Hisense or experience with a TV with the Google Chromecast built in. So far, I'm very happy with it. So far, I really like it. I like the things it lets me adjust as far as the speech and everything, and the talkback works great and everything. So far, I'm very happy with it. But I was wondering if anybody had any experience with the Google built into a television and with this brand TV for Android.
Well, this is Hershey, and as far as the brand is concerned, I've heard good things in the sense of I think they also make teleprompter or projectors. So I've heard decent things about the brand itself. But we have TCL or TCL, Hisense, and Insignia. Insignia is Best Buy's brand that's in house, and then trying to think. There's I think one other brand that might be out there that, as far as brands are concerned. So for the price, it is going to give you $400 worth of TV.
Yep.
Right. So that's the way I would look at it. If you want that Sony TV, that's $3,000, or LG TV, that's whatever XYZ amount. It's the features, and it is for the sighted people, or it is for the non-sighted even. But I think for the price, it's okay. They do sell well. And if anyone else has any more information about them, feel free to please. Ms. Renee got a new TV, a 75-inch Hisense TV.
Yeah, this is Foster. Yeah, like Hershey, I've heard good things about Hisense. One of my coworkers, he's a TV junkie, so he's always telling me about what TVs and brands are good. So it's a good brand, and far as the Chromecast built in, the Chromecast built in, because it's actually Google TV built in, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as far as the Google TV built in, it's basically just like the Fire TVs. So instead of having a Fire Stick, they go ahead and build it right into the TV. So that's all. It's the same thing. So it should work. It should work just as well as the Chromecast.
Were you the one that mentioned Roku last time? The Roku TV? No, right?
I may have.
Well, I guess the question here is, as we were talking about TVs and Android, and how different platforms are on each TV. What do you think of Roku? Because is Roku Android, right? Because these questions are going to come about when we use different phones.
Right. Roku, I think they use a form of Android, but and I have to check my TV. Well, I have to check my stick actually, my daughter actually has a JVC that's a Roku TV, and I'm not sure if it has any accessibility features on it, because I think that was one of the reasons why I like Roku, because they have more apps than anybody. Right. But the reason why I steered away from it is because wasn't any accessibility built into it. So that's why I steered away from it.
Correct. Yeah. This is Hershey again, and from my experiences with different TVs and brands, like LG definitely uses Google for their backend, or WebOS is what they call it, and sometimes it is a tough decision when you don't have accessibility built in, and you can make a simple TV smart just by adding a box to it, right? A Apple TV box, a Chromecast box, a what have you, Fire Stick box. I mean, of course, if you're talking about Apple, but that doesn't mean I can't have my Android phone, stream a video onto a box that sits in the living room, because my family did have iPhones, and for me, I was predominantly Android. So, functionality comes from your comfort level, and for the brand, like I said, Hisense definitely is a new brand in Best Buy, and Insignia is their local brand, and trust it for what it's worth, and at least you got 3 years on warranty on it, so, or 3 to 5, as you mentioned. So I think it's a good buy.
What store did you purchase it at, Renee?
Costco, because they gave you the extra 2 years for $35.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
This is Kevin.
And Kevin?
I have never owned Hisense, but I read a lot about the Hisense, and they're using the Google TV. Before that, they used Android TV, but Hisense pushes a lot of the features that the flagships have at a lower price, but you're not compromising on quality. The question that I have is, did your TV talk from without you having to do anything when you turned it on? Because Hisense and Sanyo were saying that they were going to make their TVs talk when you turn it on. And I saw all these people in the forum screaming because their TVs were talking and they didn't know how to turn the
I'm not
Oh, I love
sure.
it.
I'm not sure because my husband started the setup and he's used to the TV talking, so it doesn't bother him. So he wouldn't have complained. I'll have to ask him. But I'm not sure if it did because I recall going in and putting on talkback, but it might have still been talking when he started the setup. But I remember going in and setting up talkback the way I wanted it with the speed I wanted on everything and all that. But if it was, he wouldn't have complained because he's so used to it.
Yeah, I was just
So,
wondering if they were still doing that because that's a great feature to have it talking from the beginning.
Yeah.
mhm. So,
'Cause you might,
so you mentioned Sanyo, Kevin. Are they going with the Google TV?
I don't think that they have that
Because some
many
TVs,
Android TVs or anything. It was just their TVs in general were going to
yeah,
come up talking. I guess they had their own voice guide for whatever. Like the
okay,
Xfinity TVs, they don't use Google TV or anything, but they do have their own built-in screen reader that they use, like when they use on the Xfinity boxes. So, and there is a voice guide for Roku. Roku has their own voice guide. They've had it for
okay,
several years now. But I don't
okay.
believe that their operating system is Android based. I don't think it's a
Hmm.
fork of Android.
No, because I have two Shark TVs that I bought back in Christmas of, I want to say 17, and they have built-in accessibility where uh they'll talk, like, they'll talk and read the screen and whatnot
Mm-hmm.
like that. So yeah, so a lot of TVs do have that built in, and they especially build a lot of features like that in, because I think they're also not only blind, but I think a lot, so with seniors, because a lot of seniors
Yeah.
and elderly look at TV, so a lot of them do have, now are starting to have some type of, in addition to, because everybody had closed caption, but now a lot of them are starting to have, um, uh, screen readers that'll read what's on screen and stuff like that. So it's great.
Absolutely. Hey, Kevin, I have a question for you. Since you are talking about different phones and things, and you like doing your research, did you ever get your Pixel Fold or Flip yet? Or Pixel, sorry,
I
Samsung.
am not going to get a flip or a fold.
Fold. Uh-oh. What's the
Mm-hmm.
reason?
I teach enough Android classes. My students have enough of them, so I just play with them
Right.
and give them back.
Right.
But since I don't have any, there's no advantage to me to pay $1,800 yet.
Very
But I'll
true.
take a Pixel Fold if somebody wants to donate one.
Gave
Just
you one, yeah.
Have you heard any comparisons
Well,
between them two?
so here's the thing with the fold. Okay, one, the camera system is from the Pixel 6, which is nothing wrong with that, but for a flagship phone that would cost $1,800, they didn't even put the current system from the Pixel 7 Pro on it. So it's missing that. It's missing that. So basically, if you have a Pixel 7 Pro, you actually have a better camera than what's on the Fold. It should work as far as cause see, the thing that Samsung, there's, um, everybody that I've talked to and people who I've followed on YouTube, everybody has had an issue with that bendable glass cracking on the Fold and on the Flip. So Google actually, I think it's glass, but it's a little more flexible than,
Plastic.
yeah, it's not plastic, it's glass, but it's not.
They called it Glastic, I think.
Yeah. Now the one on the Razor, they have the new Razor, for 2023, the Razor Plus. That's a fold. Motorola just went with a heavy plastic. So you can see the crease in it, but it's not as pronounced as say like on the Z Flip or the Galaxy Z Fold. So I'm not too keen on getting a flip phone, like, because I mean the flips are reasonable because they're at $1,000, and so most flagship phones are cost $1,000 anyway. But once again, because of the slim size, you if it's not a big deal to you, you sacrifice on the camera. And I'm still trying to research to see if the accessibility on the new Razor and on the Z Flip 5, if the accessibility will work on the outside screen. So I'm trying to see if somebody's going to do a review on that.
Yeah, that's a big question there, Foster, is about the inside and outside screens. How does accessibility convert? So I figured maybe someone might have had some insight here, but I'm open for more questions if anybody wants to ask more questions. And I think I've seen Shay and Mandy, so welcome to you all.
This is Kevin. I just want to say about the Pixel Fold is that because they know that about the scrutiny and everything, the Fold has been in development since probably before the Pixel 6. So that's why it has that older camera, because they had to, I guess, like set a stopping point and just perfect what they had. That's why it doesn't, I guess that's why they didn't go with like the Tensor 3 and just, stick with the older technology so that they wouldn't make any mistakes, because they definitely would have gotten a lot more scrutiny than Samsung would if it had been a fail.
Well, speaking of more technology, you guys know that OnePlus is about to release they're about to release a Fold as well. And what else is out there? I messed with Ava because I know she's a Samsung person, so I was wondering if she's gonna get that Flip 5.
You know what? Matter of fact, Ava, if you do get a new phone and retire that Note phone that you have, the Note 20, we spoke about that. How about you give what would you do, or what do you do when you choose a new phone? Since you already know all these Android phones, right? So let's, what would you give the audience advice on when you go purchasing a new phone?
When I go purchase a new phone, well, I like to touch it, so I like to be able to be in the store to see it and not really, buy it cold turkey without looking at it first. But for a setup, I usually do a clean setup. I'll set it up just from scratch and go back in and add in the things that I want to add in to it. So I won't let it do like a phone to phone transfer of everything.
Understood. So what you're saying is, when you buy a brand new phone, you use it as a brand new phone and then build on it, instead of grabbing from your old devices to bring it back to the new device. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Renee.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was talking about when I was getting my phone last May or whatever, when I ordered my phone, and I was asking that question that was recommended here, I think by Kevin also, because I was complaining about my tablet when I had transferred stuff over, and it was just seemed to be overloaded with stuff, and I didn't seem like it should be used that much memory. And so this time when I bought a phone, I did that way, and can be agonizingly slow sometimes. And sometimes you need an app and you're like, oh, I don't have that app on here yet. But I am so happy that I did it that way, because I feel like I have a much cleaner phone, and I'm being more diligent about clearing junk off of it, as opposed to knowing that I have a lot of memory and I can wait till later. I'm being more diligent about it. So having a cleaner phone, starting with a new phone, I think is a plus, and doing it that way that you said, Ava, I think is a good way to do stuff, especially if you feel like your old phone is kind of cluttered with stuff that you can't quite figure out.
Absolutely. And this is Hershey again. And with that said, you always have the ability to go to Google or play.google.com on your on your computer or what have you, sign in with your Google account. And then if you need to change from device to device, or if you might find an app, you could quickly check, like, what was that one app I got to do this thing and that thing? And so there is ways to at least go back and grab what you need, and then all you have to do is change the device that you wanted to download to. And this is all from your computer, and your phone is going to have that new app that your old phone had. So there are ways to control what apps and stuff that go onto the device thereafter, but you don't have to bring along the cache and all that
Yeah.
other garbage files that come along with old phones.
Yeah, this is Foster.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because another thing you can do is because like everyone said, it basically when you set it up from scratch is basically you're like giving that new phone its own character. So even though I still may download a lot of the same apps, it's just like I was telling Ava, man, it's easy to get 15 home screens on an Android phone, because I have all these different widgets and stuff, but it gives your phone its own character. And then also, if you do forget about a app, remember you can always go into your Play Store and look under My Apps and see which apps you have installed. You can look at which ones you have installed and then which ones that are not installed. So you could go through the non-installed ones to see if there some that you want to that you may need to load onto your current phone. So that's another way you can search through apps that you may have forgotten to download onto your new phone.
And Hershey, you said, this is Renee, I'm sorry,
Go ahead, you're fine.
that you could do this, rather you can do this from your login on your PC or another device, either one.
Yeah, because I haven't tried it as of recent on another device, so I don't want to just say, yeah, you can. I want to be precise with that information. But on the computer, I could view my old phones, right? So I could change the device that I'm looking at with my same login and then go through the apps. So, for example, I have a S5 on my account, technically. So I could really go see my old apps that I used to have way back when, like K9 Mail and this and that and the other. But just with that said, is just if you need to have access or control, that there is a way to get on your website, like web browser, and get stuff installed and what have you.
Okay.
And even another thing you can do too, Renee, is even on like you don't want to switch, you don't want everything from the old phone on the new phone. You can actually like say if you're looking at the apps on the old phone, you can go into the Play Store and it'll say like when you pull the app up, it'll say that it's already on the device. But then if you click that, there's a drop down. If you click where it says this device, it'll show you other devices that you have listed under your account. So if you have your new device listed on there and you want to add that app, then you just choose that app and then it'll change to install, and then you can hit install. Even if it's from the old phone, you can hit install and it'll install it on the new device.
And also to remember, I guess might as well explain it now. If you want to talk about these things off air and want to discuss some more, and you're like, hey, you guys talked about this one thing, and you want to interact with us or you want to ask questions and things like that, you could join our mailing list, which is iBug Android Insite plus subscribe at groups.io. That is Android or iBug IBUG Android Insite INSIGHT plus sign subscribe at groups.io. And then, of course, as Ava mentioned earlier, if you go to YouTube, type in iBug Today, You'll find us there. Once you get there, there's a says View Channel, for example, on the YouTube app, and underneath you'll find a area that says Playlists. If you tap on the playlist, you'll find all I think 27 or 28 episodes that we have for the iBug Android Insight. So if you ever miss something or you want to discuss some more, or like you're flipping through things, please feel free to get on the mailing list. You don't have to say anything, but you can view what people are saying. If you had questions, like we had a couple of people that are in the market of buying a new phone. And Kevin, thank you for being very active also. And, we're all trying to help each other out. And we always ask for resources in the Android space. And, I hope that iBug Android Insight as a call is a resource for you. And, there are definitely people that have come onto the show, like Carrie on Accessibility has been on here as a YouTuber. Warren Carr from the Blind Android Users Group has joined us as well. So when we talk about little things, we always like to like our guests and our friends, to help each other out. And if you go to, for example, Blind Android Users, they have a lot of YouTube videos that are kind of in stages. So if you're trying to look for specifics, you could drill into it. And through the Android ecosystem, we're still trying to work out where we could have something like AppleVis type of environment where you could find information quickly. So feel free to visit some of those places and ask questions on the list if we're not on air. This show is every third Wednesday, so if you had a question in between, feel free to always reach out to us. Well, I guess I will leave you to it with more questions, guys.
Go ahead, Linda.
How easy is it to hook up your Ring doorbell to Lady A?
Anybody Ring and A and all of that stuff? Anybody have information?
Very easy. This is Ava. When you set up your Ring doorbell, don't forget download the app. Set it up through the Ring app first. Then you go to your Alexa app and set it up through there.
Thank you. That makes sense. Good. I'll
Great,
write that down.
you.
I don't know that stuff. So what was the app again? You said the Hootie. What you have to hit which app first?
The Ring app.
The Ring app. Okay, so first download Ring app
through Ring first.
Okay.
Do all your setup and everything, and then I believe within the Ring app, it'll ask you or let you know you can do it through Alexa, but you do it there first, and then go to Alexa app, and then finish the setup through there to let them talk to each other. And in that process, you can choose which devices that you want it to be able to answer to. So like I said with my Blink, the Amazon doorbell, once you go through, it's like link, what's it called? Link Amazon devices, and you can choose as many as you want that you want to hook it up to. So
great information.
Great.
Thank you, Ava.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Linda. All right. Any more questions? Keep them coming, guys.
This is Foster. So one thing I like to do is, like I said, I like to look at all these different YouTubers, right? And so I always shoot accessibility questions to them at the end, because they're always talking about the specs and the cameras and stuff like that. And so like I said about the Z Flip, one of the people I follow, I was like, left a question under the comments section. I was like, so do you know if you can use accessibility on the outside of the screen? So I have to see if they got back to me on that.
Well, you bring up a good point there, Foster. We shouldn't make Android any different than an Apple device or anything to gain accessibility, right? So for example, if anybody does watch Rene Ritchie, he's done a lot on Apple stuff, but he does talk about accessibility when it's important like that. So for us as audience members of, we use Android devices, we should definitely challenge people to really know the device, because people have, I guess, old conceptions of, oh, well, Android is not accessible, or Android can't do this or can't do that. And normally we've debunked that in this call most of the time. I mean, the questions I've asked here have usually resulted in, well, Android could do that, or if not better. So I think what we should look at as, vision impaired folks here is, accessibility is the main goal. The device doesn't make a difference, but comfort does. And if you're going to use, an Android device versus an Apple device, so be it. And, you have different solutions. So Seeing AI, for example, does magnification. Well, on the flip side, Google Lookout Assisted Vision does the same thing. Supervision or SuperSense is on both phones, and Vision AI is on both platforms. Um, so at the end of the day, when you need functionality and tools like this, it's important to note that, we're talking about expensive phones here, 1,800, 1,000. We've been naming expensive devices, but to gain accessibility does not have to cost you an expensive device. So something like the A series phones, which even in the A series, I would recommend staying above the 50 marks, A50, whatever, 4, A53, and so on and so forth. And then on the Pixel line, they've kept their lineup pretty much, that is what it is, and then they retire them. So next up in line, September, October, we'll hear about probably the Pixel 8. So whenever you are buying phones, or you're considering, hey, is this going to be accessible for me, or is this going to work out for me, you have to kind of ask yourself the question, is this going to be good for me for my own good sakes? It's not worth taking the opinion, because again, one device may work better than the other because you use something differently, or you use it to do things differently. So, always remember that this is a call that we all kind of talk about both platforms in a way, because we want to be equal. We all want accessibility. That's our main goal, not what brand of phone. Like OnePlus is great. It worked out for Foster, but then he loves his Pixel 6 or 7 rather. So, you just want to consider those thoughts whenever you are purchasing, or, trying to jump into the new platform. And if anything, I have a lot of questions for Ava today, it seems like. But anybody tried the new Amazon Tablet 11 or whatever it's called, or the Fire Tablet 11? Because I heard some interesting things on our mailing list. So could someone fill me in? Oh man, nobody saw that list. Nobody got the Android Fire Tablet 11. I guess we're all Samsung and Pixel device users, huh? Well, if you have more questions, more than happy to answer. So I'll open the stage.
This is Richard.
Hey, go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, with the phones and accessibilities and so forth, like I've said, I've been on the wait for my new Android and phone, and recently the phone that I did get sent to me does not support the Hey Google feature. It does not support it. And it even said it on there that to use this feature, upgrade the app in the App Store. So it gives the whole thing, and I go right to it. And then as soon as I go right to it, it says this phone will not support that system. It will not accept it. So the Hey Google feature, it's an Android shock, and it will not support that system. So I reactivated my old phone. Again, I told them just to reactivate this one so I at least have a phone until I get one that works with the systems or the features I need. And to go back to that part of the going to your Google and finding installed apps, my phone is saying that when I went in to reactivate my old phone, it says this app is installed on all devices, and I'm saying, why are you saying that? Why are you installed on all devices? You shouldn't be, because you're the only device here. Well, how is this installed on other devices? I don't know.
All right, Richard. Well, thank you for that. And I think for the phrasing, they might use phrasing, but if anyone has more information on that, I'm going to open up the stage here.
What phone did you purchase, Richard, where you couldn't use the...
That was an Android shock.
Who?
Android Shock is what
I
it's
never
called.
heard of that.
And it doesn't. I have no idea. It's an old phone. Apparently, when I don't know if I looked it up correctly. I hope I looked it up correctly, but apparently this phone came out in 2011, 2012. The Android Shock.
That's the new phone you ordered.
Right. And when
I
I looked it up, I don't know if I looked it up correctly, but that's what it said, 2011, 2012.
That is interesting that you bring that. This is Hershey real quick, Foster. And one thing I want to mention about that is most phones these days, even if you read the app or the paragraph underneath, it'll say Android 6 or higher, right? So maybe that's what happened here in this case, where you were maybe not running Android 6, but, you know, the phone was old. And that's why it's highly recommended to kind of go mainstream on this because, again, as I mentioned earlier, accessibility is what we're striving for, not necessarily I look cool because I have a flippy phone. So
that's why I said I don't even know if I looked it up. When I heard the name, saw the name, I looked it up because witnessing and noticing it didn't support the Hey Google. And it said the year, but it didn't only just say the year. It said other things that really tossed me. I'm like, wait, I might be looking this up wrong because it told me it's waterproof. It can go 300 feet below water, and I can drop it from 15 stories up. It won't break, and it can support 500 foot-pound weight, and it will not break. And as soon as I heard all that, I'm saying to myself, I think I did not look this up correctly because I never heard of a phone doing any of that.
This is Kevin.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what happened is that the Google Assistant at some point stopped supporting certain versions of Android, so that's why it's not allowing you to do the Hey Google. If it's a 2011 phone, that's like gingerbread or something. It's like 2.2
or something.
2.3, maybe.
Yeah, what was Kit Kat?
If
Was
you're
4.
lucky,
4.
maybe maybe Kit Kat, maybe Jelly Bean. But it's not going to be supported. Certainly not all the latest features because there wasn't even there was Hey Google then, but there was not the voice matching and stuff where you could train it and all that other stuff. So none of that stuff was available. But what I'm wondering is that is that the only kind of phones that the place where you get your phones from, or could you request something like the blind shell?
Yes, and that's what I did because the phone that was really messing up on me is the Ravel 4, and that was a 2020 September, and that is the one that had all the Hey Google features to it and function, but I really don't know what happened to it. For some reason, nothing was working and functioning properly. And they only deal with Androids. That's all they deal with. They're contracted with Android. And so, yes, I'm going to be getting another one sometime through this week or next week. I'll be getting the next one and seeing if that one will do it. But in the meantime, I told them just to reactivate this one. I mean, it makes calls, it does that, and it's a little froggy and goofy in other places. It just doesn't want to work, but at least I can make calls and it talks and I know what's going on. But that's where I don't understand why it's coming up with this has been installed on all devices. And I don't know if it's because this one that is activated, which is the Rebel 4, it's because it's acting goofy, it's weird, I don't know what's going on. Is that the reason? Because this is the only Android device that is really here, and I don't have those apps installed everywhere else.
Well, it's saying that you have it installed on all devices that were ever associated with that email address. So any device, even if you're not using it anymore, even if that device is off, even if that device is destroyed, it's just saying that all the accounts, so you can go into your Google account or you can go through the Play Store and you can remove devices and then it'll say, you only have one device or whatever. But it's any of those devices that it shows to be still active, even if you traded it in and turned it in or whatever, it doesn't know that. So anything that you've ever done with your Gmail account, with that same Gmail account, that's why it's saying all devices.
How you mentioned something about deleting the devices. I can do that. Where would I go to do that?
Well, it's probably easier through the Google services, but you have to go down to, I don't have to find the steps, but you can go, if you tap on your account, and then I have to find it. I don't know, but I have to go and do this sometimes because whenever I trade in a device, I make sure I
take one off. Are you a T-Mobile customer, Richard?
No, my devices and all the support I have, my income just does not do that. Mine comes from insurance coverages. So mine
No,
is
who's your
through,
carrier? Who's your
it's
carrier?
Insurance Wireless, and they're through your
Okay.
insurance coverage of medical coverage and low-income coverage.
Gotcha. Okay. So they
This
only
is
they only offer a few devices.
So have they added the blind shell to the list since it's an Android phone and it's approved? Or like, have they added the blind shell?
And that is something I don't know. From what I gathered, and I really actually did kind of blow off at them. I mean, I didn't want to get that mad, but it's really hard to push my buttons. It's really hard to get me there, but I mean, they're sending phones that I understand that are outdated. They contract with Androids, and that's the way the insurance works. I mean, they even told me outright that, well, you don't have the phones, it's only what's available in the warehouse, and that's kind of when I lost it. And the edit version is, I said, that's got to stop, because there is disability people out here, and they can't just take whatever phones are available and expect it to work for them, because it might not, and I just got one that doesn't work on that level for accessibilities, even though you're with Android and you're contracted with Android. That's the edit version for this meeting, but there was other choice words, but that was the edit version. So they are, I don't know what this new phone is going to be that they're sending me, and hopefully when I activate it, I will hopefully be able to do it.
So this is Foster. So did they charge you for the phone, or?
They were going to, the Revel 4. They were going to that.
The new one you purchased that didn't work. How did they charge you for that phone?
No, they were only going to charge me for the Revel 4, and they were going to charge me to get a new phone at $51 to $50 more, because the Revel 4 was out of their policy. It was over year policy. So they were going to charge me $50 more or so dollars just to get a new one.
This is Kevin. If I think that they just gave you a broken unit, you should not have a problem with the Revel 4. The Revel 4 is almost stock Android, and it is one of the newer phones, so you should not have a problem with a working Revel 4.
And that's the one that gave up on me.
I mean,
I had that
enough,
for a year.
It has enough RAM and everything.
Yeah,
I don't know why you're having a problem with a Revel 4. Yeah, TCL makes it for they make it for T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Yes, it is T-Mobile. Every single one of them is T-Mobile. And when I get a kick out of it, because they say when you get the new phone, you can call us to activate it or call 611. And I have told Insurance Wireless, I can't call 611 if it's with your account and with you, because 611 is going to automatically connect me to T-Mobile. And T-Mobile tells me I don't have an account with them, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they basically sound like they're using they're like piggybacking off of T-Mobile's cellular service.
No, they're separate, because I've had the Revel 4 with the issues I've been having with it. I talked to Insurance Wireless about it, and they say, well, go to T-Mobile, and I have done that. And T-Mobile says no.
No. What I'm talking about I'm talking about what they're using for coverage for your service. They're probably using T-Mobile's data and cellular towers for their service. That's what I mean.
Oh yes. They're two separate towers though. Insurance Wireless, yes, is their own tower and cell, but they are one side of the towers Insurance Wireless, the other side of the towers T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, this is Hershey real quick. Speaking of these companies, they're known as MVNOs. And recently, I don't know, I had a conversation with somebody, and like Mint Mobile, $15 a month, but you pay like $180 for the whole year, so you pay up front the $180. So that's your plan. So if you know, for certain people that are on this call, if they're looking for a company like that to kind of cut down on cost, and you still want to get your Android phones, that Mint Mobile and then Google Fi are good choices. They do piggyback on the T-Mobile line, as we just mentioned. Verizon has one too. The name slips me right now, but every company has its little smaller companies that piggyback off of them, known as MVNOs. And so you might see this, and you know the network is like a T-Mobile network, or a network is AT&T network or Verizon, but you'll have these smaller companies partnering up with them to use their bandwidth.
Like Walmart, you know, what is it, Straight Talk at Walmart? That I think they piggyback off of T-Mobile.
T-Mobile or AT&T, one of them, yeah.
Yeah, or it might work on. Okay, that's what about. Okay, yeah, they're GSM, right? So there's lots of choices out there, and a lot of them will, in certain cases, what type of contract you sign up for, you can pretty much get a more up to date Android phone at little to no cost for, you know, signing up for a subscription.
Correct. Well, if anyone else wants to go with their question, we could go on to the next question. Quiet group tonight, isn't
it? This is Renee.
Go ahead, Miss Renee.
I did go into my account on my PC while you guys were talking. I couldn't find manage devices, but I just put in devices and it found it. And it listed all of my devices and some that I'm not in anymore, and some that it told how long it'd been since I logged into some of them. And it said you could log out. It didn't say remove, but it said log out of device or something like that. But I don't know if that's the only way to do this. That's just something that I saw.
This is Kevin. Is that the Play Store?
No, this was just went into my profile from a Gmail into my account to see where the devices are. So I don't know, maybe it's different in the Play Store. Maybe it's handled. That was just showing me the devices.
You can log out, but there seems like there's one other place that you can go and remove a device, but like I said, I don't know exactly where.
Maybe it's in the Play Store. This was just in managing my account, you know, from my profile.
I think you are correct with that. The thing is, they keep switching it up on us over the years, so we're trying to remember where did we see that thing, and that's why it's sometimes difficult to give you accurate answers on this matter. But I'm perceiving that going off the Google Store, the Play Store, will be a better way to at least see it. What I would think on the account side, as you described earlier, it would just log out that username out of that device.
Yeah, And it does tell you when you first logged in, and
Right.
if you've been inactive. Like one of them said, I've been inactive for 115 days.
Right.
And I know what that device is. I gave it to my son.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll get rid of that one. But
But yeah, thank you for you always pull up these things. So we always appreciate it when you actually go live and try it out on air. So thank you every time for doing
curiosity kills the cat sometimes.
that. Well, thank you. And like I said, the floor is still open for anybody that has thoughts, concerns, questions, anything. Super duper quiet today.
Well, this is Renee. I have one comment.
Sure.
I ran into a quirk on my Pixel 7 Pro. You can't just like free scroll when you have talkback on. It wants to keep reverting back to wherever your focus is. So I learned that when I scroll, I have to click something to keep moving the focus along, which is kind of annoying, but it's just some quirk that I found in there.
Interesting. Anybody have any insight on that?
This is Kevin. Is that in a specific app or anywhere or Chrome?
It's anywhere. I can be browsing through my icons on my desktop. I can be browsing through my text message groups. That's where it's really annoying when I'm trying to get back to a photo or a comment or something somebody put in there, some information in a text message group with my family, and getting back to it sometimes is difficult. I think I've sent some feedback on that in general, but I didn't send it specifically to the accessibility people, just my general, send feedback thing.
And you're talking about when you're dragging up with two fingers, it's not.
Yeah, like if I didn't have talkback on, if I scroll with one finger, it would just scroll free. And I don't know if some of it has to do with the settings I have, where I have, that stuff that makes it click, whatever that is. I don't know. That's kind of maybe I should get
the sound for it.
Yeah, I hear the sound and I hear like tactile feeling also. And maybe if I turn some of that off, I don't know if that'll impact it. I haven't done that yet.
I
But
don't think haptics or sound feedback would be the culprit here per se, but I mean, keep describing
So is it making the sound like it should be? It gets higher and higher the lower you go. Is it making the noise or is it staying static, the noise?
It will change the pitch when I keep changing the focus. And when I keep going out, the pitch will keep changing like it's supposed to. But when I try to just free scroll with two fingers, it'll start going and then it'll just jump back to where it was.
One thing, I don't know if this is any antidote, but you could reset your gestures completely to see if that quirk, I don't know, like I said, this quirk is interesting as you mentioning it, but resetting the gestures, if you had any customizations or anything like that for your gestures specifically, for TalkBack. So it's under 3-finger tap, go to TalkBack settings, and then under TalkBack settings, going to customize gestures, and then reset that.
Okay.
But I don't know, this is a guess for me. I mean, if it's doing something quirky or, if there's something you might have customized that it's making it do something that it shouldn't be. But yeah, that's all I could come up with from my end.
This is Kevin. Another thing that you could do is go into your customized reading menu and add scrolling to your menu when you swipe to the left or right with 3 fingers. And then that way you can scroll by swiping up and down with 1 finger and see if that changes the behavior.
Oh.
So you can add scrolling. You can add accessibility volume, even though we have a way of adjusting that, and you can add scrolling and a few other hide screen. And scrolling is one of the things that's in there, and that'll allow you to scroll with 1 finger.
Okay. I'll try those things, see if either one works.
Great question.
But definitely, if it's not working, I would definitely contact the accessibility, because you can reproduce that so they can see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is Foster. I don't use TalkBack all the time, but when I do, I do mostly scrolling, or I'll do it where what is it called? Continuous reading. So like when you put a website in simplified view,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just want talkback to just continuously read until it gets to the end. And the default talkback settings weren't set for that, so I had to go in and uh, uh, change some of my gestures. So I set it so that all I have to do is swipe down with one finger, and it'll start reading from the top and do continuous reading until it gets to the end. So, yeah.
Those customized gestures, as you mentioned, Foster, they're quite powerful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yes,
that
they're
sounds like a
very
good idea.
powerful.
You
yeah,
put it into
folks.
simplified view first before you do the continuous reading?
Yeah, so not all websites are compatible with that, but the ones that are, you can, if you do it in simplified view, then it cuts out a lot of the ads and stuff like that, and it'll just give you the primary page, and it'll read the primary page. It'll tell you if it's a picture, and then if the picture does have captions under it, it'll read the captions about what the picture is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I have a question if anybody wants to help me. Anybody have issues with their Samsung devices and clicking on links? Let's say if you got a text message or anything like that. Anybody have any issues trying to click on hyperlinks and this, that, and the other? And to add to that, that's with using TalkBack.
Pleasure. This is Shay. I missed the beginning of your question. What were the first couple of words?
So what I was saying is, if anybody that's using a Samsung device and if you're using TalkBack or anything, have you been able to click on links or anything that people send you? Lately on my S22 Ultra, or maybe not lately, but I always have harder times to click on a link or a website somebody might have sent me, and I've changed my heading or my reading controls to links at times to see if that improves, but it usually helps to let either pass through a gesture or turn off TalkBack and press it. So I was just wondering if that's a bug that I'm seeing lately or if anybody else is experiencing that.
So you know that if you have a link that is in a text message, not email, but if you have an email that's in a text message or something like that, you have to wait for the URL to come up and it'll make a popping noise. When it makes that popping noise, it means that TalkBack has recognized that there's a link. You have to tap one time with three fingers and go to actions, or no, go to links. Links will be the first thing in the list because it has recognized that there is a link. And when you double tap on that, all of the links that are in that conversation, not the whole thread, but just within that conversation, if they sent you two videos, then those two links will be there, and you just swipe until you get to the one you want, and you double tap. And that's how you activate.
Let's just kind of recap what you're saying there. So if there's a link, I would swipe with three fingers, and then the link should pop up first. Is that what you're saying?
No, so you just swipe over to where the link is.
Correct.
Say HTTP, but right before it says HTTP or whatever, it's going to pop.
If your earphones are on, you'll hear the popping sound.
Yeah, it'll make a little popping noise. Mm-hmm. And then you tap once with three fingers, and then links will be the first thing in the list because it has recognized that there is a link. Okay. If you tap one time with three fingers and it doesn't say links first, you have to kind of start the process over. So swipe away and swipe back. But anyway, so when you double tap on links with one finger, then you'll have a list of the links that are within that post. Yeah.
And that is true for both Samsung and Pixel?
That's the way that TalkBack is handling links within text messages specifically, or any kind of messaging app.
Right.
But in email, it should just work just fine. You should just be able to double tap.
Correct. Okay. So mainly the text messages or weird things like that, maybe even Discord, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe even Discord. It's just the way that it's happening. If enough people report it and say, "Hey, we just want to be able to double tap on the link," but I think that people just have kind of figured out that that's the way it works, and nobody has said anything.
Right.
Because they would have definitely have changed it by now. But it's just
And being
like
low
I haven't
vision, I
said
just
anything.
say turn off talkback, press it, and it works, right? So you want to get your job done or your work. You want to move forward, not just wait and this doesn't
Yeah.
work. Let me try something new. So.
Yeah, so it will pop most of the time, and then, like I said, you hit that just tap with 3 fingers or however you get into
actions,
the talkback menu.
Yeah.
And it'll be there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for that.
This is Renee. Kevin, does that popping noise come when you've selected it one tap, or do you have to like
when you swipe to it? When you swipe to it, whether you're coming left or right. So when you swipe over to it, and right before you hear it say HTTP:// it's going to make a little popping noise.
Okay.
And when that pop, that means that TalkBack has recognized that there is a link.
Okay. All right.
This is the same thing for YouTube. Like if you're on YouTube and you're trying to get to their show notes or whatever they're trying to do, you have to open up the description and you swipe over until it pops on one of the links that you want to access.
Okay.
All right, that's definitely a faster way to, because YouTube and descriptions are the most annoying sometimes to traverse, and really appreciate that. Meanwhile, let me also give you that if you want to give feedback, as Kevin mentioned to us, we've let it go on its wayside when we could actually give feedback, and to get a hold of Google disability support, it's go to the website .co/disability support, and there you'll find 3 options. You could call them, so it'll schedule a call for you, and then you could email them, and then last but not least, you could use Be My Eyes. So if you have Be My Eyes, you could connect through there as well. You don't have to go through the website and do all that, but if you want to use the app, you can, and you would go to Specialized Help. And so with any of these ideas that we have, if you have Samsung, you have OnePlus, etc., it's all Android. It's all the same platform. So maybe not Amazon as such, but whatever Google does, and phones and stuff, feel free to just share your notes, share what you have. I mean, Miss Renee mentioned earlier with her scrolling issue, it might be just a bug. With links, it's not a bug necessarily, but it's now the way that TalkBack works with links. So understanding the mannerisms are always that challenge, and once you get it packed down, I think it's smooth sailing after that. But again, g.co/disability support, and then ibugtoday.com, or type Android or go to YouTube and type in iBug Today there, and again, you find all the lists and videos. And so I will leave the last 10 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever we have. Any more questions, thoughts, comments, please feel free. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Foster again. Renee, you said you had a Pixel 7 Pro?
Yes.
What type of case do you have on it?
One that I purchased from Google, probably. It was very hard to find cases.
Oh, you must not be an Amazon shopper.
I am, and I didn't see any cases on Amazon for this. I usually like to get one that it comes up higher. This one comes up a little bit. It's not like the one I had before that was more kind of like an OtterBox kind of thing. But this one is just one I could find. I had a hard time finding them. The stores didn't really have anything for them. When I was in the Verizon store, they didn't have any.
I have 3. Actually, I have 5 cases for this phone already.
You found them on Amazon?
Different sites. But anyway, one case you should look for, and I'm gonna mess with you Apple people. They make MagSafe cases for the Pixel 7 Pro. So you can get a MagSafe case and use the Apple MagSafe charger to charge your Pixel 7 Pro. in addition to just using regular wireless charging.
Is the speed any good there, Foster? This is Hershey. Is it a 5 watt, 10 watt? Do you know?
It just depends on the it depends on which MagSafe charger you get.
Got it.
So it charges pretty quick though. Just like with regular Wii chargers, it just depends on how many how many watts the Wii charger is. But the great thing about it is because it's magnetic, you know what I mean? You can buy like for your nightstand, you can buy a charging stand that has the MagSafe charger, the thing for your watch, and also a little pad for your earbuds, because all the earbuds are one.
The trio chargers.
Yeah, the trio chargers, and some of them even have night lights on them, so that's pretty dope too. If you have a little bit of vision, night lights a bit. Yeah. So
it looks like you're already stylish there, brother. So 5 cases. I guess every day is a different day, right?
Yeah. It just depends on what mood I'm in or what color I want to wear for that week. So yeah.
That's excellent. Yeah. And like I said, there's choices for your phone, so why not?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I guess all these
and
cases.
There's a brand called D Brands, just like it sounds, the letter D, and then brand. Yep, they do skins and they do grip cases. So you're familiar with them, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What you got? You got that faux leather? You got that leather one on your S22?
I kept it simple. OtterBox, keep it functionality over stylish.
OtterBox is too bulky.
It's big, but it hasn't broken my screen yet, so knock on wood.
I'm a tech. I like tech.
Tech 9.
I like Tech 21.
Tech 21. That's what it's called. Sorry.
I like Tech 21, and there's another company out of California called Zyzo. They make cases kind of like OtterBox too, just not. That's what they call it, military
Under
grade
Armour,
and all that.
And then when you just mentioned Zyzo, I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a plethora of, and even for your watches and stuff, you got like screen protectors and stuff you could get for it these days. But you know what? Since I only got a few more minutes, anybody gonna be excited for a new watch? Maybe next, October, September?
Man, I was just thinking about that. The Pixel, they need to come with the Pixel V2. 2. They need to,
right?
Because the Galaxy Classic 6 is killing it. It's got a 47mm screen on it. They bought the rotating bezel back, and it's using what is it? It's what's the OS in it? I think it's
5.1.
Wear OS 4. Wear OS 4. Help me out, Kevin.
I think it's 5.1. As a matter of fact, if I remember.
Yeah, whatever. It's using the highest one.
Right.
The highest.
6.0 is coming on Android 14 on the phone.
No, it's Wear OS 4. They're getting Wear OS 4 before Google.
Even for a Pixel.
But that's what they did with that's what they did with Wear OS 3 as well. When they had the Wear OS, when Samsung came back to Wear OS, they let them release 3.0 first.
We got to remember they're partners. They're business partners. So.
And the other thing with this new, and it works backwards compatible. The watch bands have a little button, and you push the button, it pulls the pins in. You can take the watch band off, and so it even works on older watches too. So they have new watch bands that are just basically you can pop them in and pop them out just with the push of a button.
Nice. Yeah, I hope everybody got a lot of Android in this. I enjoyed this.
Yes, something to look out for with the watches, especially that Samsung watch. Well, y'all, we're at
Ava,
that time
of
right? day.
You gonna buy me one, Ava? No.
Hey, we can exchange.
Hey, this is Joel.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up now. This has been a wonderful call. And just to let everybody know, go to iBug today for any updates of what's going on with iBug. And our next meeting will be Wednesday, September 20th.
Right.
All right. Y'all have a great evening.
All right.
They
Bye,
might.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks.